just a real tribute to our emergency services. So I don't think get a lot of some certainly service to us. So I just want to make a point of both the folks who responded from the Washington Volunteer Fire Company, the duty emergency services person responded, even a couple of folks who responded from Sperryville. So all within 30 minutes. The good news is, gentleman who had the issue recovered fully, is doing just fine. But just want to take a minute to thank our emergency services for that. Moving on to lighter subjects, I want to thank the committee who helped put on the Christmas parade on December 3rd. It's a nearly year-long process that makes that all come together, and certainly all the members that do extraordinary work. I think we raised a little over $8,000 for the Rappahannock Food Pantry as part of that effort. But of course, I have to call out for special attention our own Drew Mitchell and thank him for once again opening Avon Hall for Santa and for the artists market. So thank you, Drew. If anybody has any thoughts on how we should do the parade or how we do better next year, we'll probably start planning again in February, March, believe it or not. So let us know if there's anything we can do. I know we've got a couple that already self-identified things on the committee to make it better. So hopefully next year. But I thought it was just great to be back to the original parade route this year. A wonderful crowd in midtown, in sort of the middle of town for the event. So hopefully next year we'll have a band. Fortunately, last minute sickness there cost us having them this year. And then to continue the drum roll of thanks, I want to thank everybody for coming out last night for the town Christmas party. I want to particularly thank my distinguished two elves, Jean Dudine and Fred, for helping us pull that all together. Drew, thank you for serving as the bartender again. And thanks to the maintenance team at the end for helping us clear out the pews, which will return, I promise. Although I like the idea of forcing you guys to sit in the front 2 rows. Storage for a while. I just thought it was great to all be back in town hall for the first time since the beginning of COVID. I had a wonderful crowd here last night, so thanks for everybody who made a contribution to that. Speaking of contributions, last night I also sort of officially kicked off our effort to raise funds for the preservation of town hall. We're aiming to raise around $30,000. Last night we collected $3,000, so 10% of the way. For everybody who's thinking about, sort of their end of the year contributions, we, welcome your contributions to the Town of Washington Trust to help us preserve this wonderful building. And you can see this wonderful little display of some of the options we're looking at for the redo. But what we'd love to do is have the majority of the funds raised by next summer so that we can try to do some of the work next summer. So, and we will hopefully, and just sort of another opportunity to highlight Town Hall and build on community events, do another community event President's Day weekend. It seems to be a wonderful time to think about our esteemed namesake, President Washington, and have another celebration here at Town Hall. Maybe on that Saturday afternoon, sort of a cocktail hour opportunity for the community together. So more to follow on that. And then one last holiday thing. There will be caroling in town on 15 December. The Girl Scout Troop 772 is going to have their first annual caroling event. They're going to meet on Main Street at 326 Main Street, which I believe is right next to the parsonage. Men's parsonage. I can debate that title. And everyone will be gathering at 5 p.m. and then the caroling will kick off at 6 p.m. So folks can turn out and hopefully we'll have good weather for that. That's Friday evening. And then one last item, the Commission on Local Government is going to meet on January 5th, and this will be the first step they will take in the boundary line adjustment. That should be a relatively easy hearing. I'll be down there. It's in Richmond on 5 January, and that will start a process which will hopefully conclude in late spring with the approved documents coming back to the county and the town for final signature. So more to follow on that. I think that is it.
Before we get to the treasurer's
Yes.
report, since we're spending some time on thanks, I want to publicly thank the mayor for the purchase and donation of the lovely sideboard that you'll see when we first come in, which really adds elegance to the entry. So
Thank
thank you very much.
All right. Happy to do it.
Thank you, Regina. It is spectacular.
Okay. Madam Treasurer.
Okay, well, you don't have any report because first I was sick, I'm just better, and then Barbara was sick. So the team did not put a report together for you. But I've got some really good news. The one thing I did do, a couple of days ago, I did get the LGIP printout and see where we were year to date. The great news is we have broken $400,000 for 400,005. And
For the layman, it's our rainy day fund. It's,
yeah, local government investment pool. LGIP is the nice deal. But yeah, I think the rainy day fund. And we got $1,800 in interest last year. It's amazing.
One positive part about the Fed raising rates.
Yes. Is that our little nest egg, which we want very quickly to get to 500,000, and then everything above that will make us happy. Because we really do, that would give us 50% of the year, it would give us the 6 months, but we really like the year. But we're doing great, so.
And the 6 months means that that is the recommended minimum that a jurisdiction should have
Yes.
in reserve.
Exactly.
I just wanted to.
That's it for me.
Question? Mr. Krim.
Thank you, Mayor. Three things to report on this evening. One is the landscape encroachment for Rush River Commons. That agreement's been finalized. We don't have a signed copy back yet. I expect that will be forthcoming shortly, and so that one aspect of the development is squared away. To add on to what you were saying about the boundary line adjustment petition, if anybody's interested in reading that material, that has now been posted to the website of the Commission on Local Government, which you can find by Googling Virginia Commission on Local Government, and it's all there. And then lastly, with regard to the Leggett Lane Road Maintenance Agreement, I've had no progress with that. We're still waiting to hear back from two of the adjacent property owners with regard to their interest level in entering into an agreement for maintenance of that road. Stand ready to answer any questions.
Who would we need to hear from?
Mr. Mitchell, his attorney, and the new owners of the post office, who are out of state, out of touch.
California-based. They just told me company, I
Is
believe.
this the third owner?
Yes, it's changed hands multiple times.
Is there anything we can do to put some teeth into getting them to respond? This seems like,
Well,
forever this has gone on.
yeah, no, I'm with you there. It does strike me that, it's a private road, so it's not like people have the right to use it without our permission.
Mm-hmm.
But it'd be very difficult to tell the post office that patrons can't use the road.
Well,
Could, in theory.
notify the owner that that's what we're gonna do if they don't come forward. We're gonna let the post office get on them. It's again, this thing has gone on and on and on, and we just, everybody's like, okay, well, we're changing and this and that, These documents need to get completed and signed.
Right. Yeah, well, we don't even have as-bills for the post office yet, so that's a building code issue for the county.
Mr. Garrison's, I know, working with the county about that.
Yeah.
I share Brad's frustration that it's gone on. Martin, does it make sense at this point for us to ask you to send an official letter to the current holding company in some capacity?
I'm happy to do it.
I don't know that it will inspire a response, but
That's,
worth
unless it's got some kind of threat of action, I'm not sure that it's going to have any persuasive impact.
Well, Mr. Garrison's report says that the deadline for the submittal of an application fee is passed, so that, would that be something you could say, hey,
Yes,
That's for
that's a related issue with regard to the as-bills, and
Yeah,
so the county will need to enforce that. But basically, it could come to a situation where the post office is not usable because it doesn't have an occupancy permit. And in which case, it would make some sense to also pressure them with regard to the road maintenance agreement. But their percentage is relatively low because they're so near the entry starting to run that road.
It may be, I know the United States Postal Service probably doesn't want to hear anything from the town of Washington in a near future, but since they are the people paying the rent to the owner, it
Yeah.
may be worthwhile for us to have a conversation with the real estate ranch down in Greensboro
Yeah.
and go through there.
Okay. Well,
Could we,
I think I still have the name of the contact.
can we take action to ask them to sort of garnish the amount of rents they're paying to meet the payments they're due to the town?
well, the payment's not due to the town, I think the payment's due to the county.
Well, on that one it is, but I'm talking about the road
Road
maintenance thing, we,
maintenance.
we included an extension.
They haven't signed the agreement yet,
Yes.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, once they did, then we would have avenues for collection.
Okay.
We could, if they had signed the agreement and just weren't paying, then could do a third-party lien and ask the postal services to send us the money to take it out of the rent. I'm sure it'll all get sorted out.
Yeah, I just don't want to be sitting here in December 2024 and still be waiting for that agreement.
Remind me that their contribution amount is
I was just gonna look that up, I don't recall.
$100 a year or something.
It's small.
Problem is, I mean, I'm not inclined to go this way because I find it very irritating, but by the time we pay one of these fees for notifying them, we're going to pay 10 years worth of.
Yes, exactly.
I'm not suggesting we do that, but I'm just
No,
saying,
no,
that's,
no.
and I'm sure that's part of the calculus on their side.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mayor's report? I mean, on the, and then we have a copy of Mr. Geyerson's reports. And the planning commission did not have any actions. The ARB?
So for the ARB this past month, we had a few applications in. We are looking at one for 558 Gay Street where we're gonna get a resubmission for an expansion on the house likely in December. We've already gotten some of those plans and hoping to work with the builder and the architect to revise in some capacity. And then we're also looking forward to getting approvals and reviews for a few other projects around town. There's a fence over at Ryan Crowd's house, as well as the retaining wall over here at John and Chip's. Last month we did approve the new signs, if folks have seen, at the Little Washington Theater that are up now. And I think that's mostly it for us.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, no old business or on to new business. We have, Rush River Commons has submitted their application for the water and sewer service, and I believe paid,
They paid the application.
paid the application.
Yes.
correct?
It's for 18 connections. It's for the rest of the residential units. The last time you approved it was for the commercial building and the food pantry.
And what will be the total fee that will be paid if we approve it? Quiz
The-
question.
There's two different fees. There's the tap fee and then there's the EDU assessment. I don't know about the EDU assessment.
Right.
The tap fee, I'll have to look.
That's okay.
It's
Is it 15 per?
It works out, I think, at
It's
125 total, but
Yeah, it's 125 total.
something like that.
It's 7,500 per apartment and
And
then
then,
15 per house, but they're all considered apartments.
Right.
So 7,500 times 18, whatever that is.
We'll call it close enough. Certainly will help pad our budget for maintenance to the system. So we did get as far as just considering the usage, this would take us up to 43% usage on the system from our current 36% is the estimate. Certainly even with, the plans the end has on its way, would still keep us pretty reasonable task on the system overall. So, any questions about the taps? Okay. Accept a motion to approve the application.
I'll move.
Second.
Thanks, Drew.
And then we'll do a roll call vote, so all in favor, so
Aye.
Jean, aye?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Tap is approved. All right, moving on to the other new business. I think all of us are more than aware of the condition of the packing shed on Gay Street. I think over the last 3 or so years, it was nearly 3 years ago, but I think that we had a water break there. There was water literally coming out on the street. We notified the owner. They did not take any action. We turned off the water service and have not heard otherwise from the owner since then. I think it was 2 winters ago, we had a side porch collapsed into the edge of the street and had to be cleared up. But we have gotten not good responses from the owner when we've asked questions about maintenance, and at least having the mowing done and that sort of thing. And I think we would all, I would presume to say that we would all agree that it represents a public hazard at this point. So what I would like to do is...
Mr. Mayor, before you go there, I'd also like to add that there have been reports of vermin in the building that nested there because the building has not been maintained. And that is a hazard to public safety.
It's a health issue.
Yeah.
And certainly there's enough beehives to dissuade even me from wandering close to it in the summertime. So what I would like to do is to take action under, you guys all have a copy of this in the back of your package, but take action under the zoning ordinance, section 13.6.2, minimum maintenance requirements, impair and demolition by neglect. That is a contributing structure to the historic zone in town. Taking action under this would be referring the matter to the ARB so that they could then engage the zoning administrator to evaluate the building, report back to the ARB. The ARB would then report to us for further action at that point. So we at least get a good evaluation of the current structural integrity of the building so that we can take some action or have further conversation with the owner. If we do take affirmative action tonight, what I will do is then I will follow up with a letter to the owner advising them of that action and inviting them to meet with the town and have a conversation.
I would recommend too, as Fred has pointed out, the vermin and everything else, and get the health department involved because they can offer citation.
Yeah, that's
That
true.
gives us more strength.
That's a good point. So I would like to make a motion that we refer this matter to the matter of the packing shed to the ARB for action at their December meeting. Okay. I'm gonna give him that one.
I live next to it.
And I will take a roll call vote starting with Jean.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion is adopted. All right. Anything else from the council? I'm going to open up the public forum. Okay. I will now open the public forum. Any comments from the public?
So Drew Mitchell here, and I just wanted to apologize for the delay on the road maintenance agreement. It's been sitting at my attorney Mike Brown's mile-high inbox. I pinged him. I'll reach out to him this week and apply a little bit more pressure and see if I can get that to move forward a little bit. But sorry about that. And then the other thing is, I also wanted to thank Joe and whoever else helped you beautify the town. Every year, these wreaths and garlands magically appear around all the signposts, and I just wanted to add that to the pile of things because it really, it's beautiful. So, thank you.
I also forgot to, speaking of bells, I forgot to mention Gene Kaufman, who was also a big help with the wreaths this year. So.
Great.
Much appreciated. Anything else from the- Steve?
Just since everybody was doing thanks at the beginning, thanks from Rush River to the council and the staff and for everybody that's helping us make that project a reality. We're so excited about it, and it's really come a long way, and in large part to your help. So thank you very much.
Looks like we're about to see some vertical structures down there.
Not gonna remember.
Sorry.
Is the slab not ready to to get on top of and start working?
The food pantry slab is done, and we're waiting for the panels to come in, and it's gonna go vertical very shortly.
Oh, it's gonna get penalized?
Some of the perimeter and then the trusses are being fabricated now.
Okay, you know, like the SIPs, using SIP panels, is that for the walls or?
I'm not sure which
Okay.
supplier we're using, but
Okay, so I saw these,
Fast-
stack them over, right, because they're spring to start.
we're trying to get them in the spring, so we're trying to do that one as quick as we can.
Yeah, it's looking good. The site's looking organized.
And it was funny, we talked about it, it was like, we got the walls built, the site was all nice and flat and looked beautiful, and then we started digging it up again to put in all the utilities, but, again.
While you're retaining, yeah.
We're just about done with the major stuff's in.
Do you mind taking just a couple of minutes? I know I had a citizen in the community was very concerned that he saw the ground was all smoothed over and covered, and then he saw you all digging it up.
Yeah.
And do you mind just taking a couple of sentences to explain why that happens?
The big excavations were for the underground stormwater management.
And I presume you have to get everything settled first for the building inspector or what have you.
Well, we had an alternative. We could have, in the areas where the stormwater management was, we could have not put the fill in and then left a big hole, but then it doesn't drain very well. So when you do the stormwater management, the underground facilities, you put in a couple of manholes. There's a manhole where the system discharges. We dig the hole, put that in very quickly, so then any water that gets in there has somewhere to go. So that was the method of the madness there. And then the other stuff that's going in now is just like the water lines and the sewer lines. We're putting in the conduit for Comcast and REC. So that's stuff that's coming. So that's
Thank you.
part of the process.
At this point, I will close the public forum, and the council will need to go into closed session, so I will thank you all for turning in.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.